Maybe you would already have another girlfriend. Maybe you already got married. Who knows? 조심해.
네. 아 여기서 바나나는 낱개로 살 수도 있구나. 몰랐네. 오늘은 그 치즈 퐁듀를 해 먹으려고요. 치즈를 녹여가지고 그래서 거기에 치즈 안에 넣어 먹을 뭐 야채나 이런 거, 고기나 빵이나 이런 걸 좀 사려고 왔습니다.
It's like attacking my nose. It smells good. For you. For people who are lactose intolerant.
이걸 먹으면 그럼 설사를 안 하는 거야?
Yeah.
네, 여러분들 중에서도 유제품 먹으면 설사하시는 분들 있죠. 독일에서 아마 이거 사면 될 것 같습니다. 제가 한번 처음 먹어보고 후기 알려드릴게요.
I don't want you to suffer.
감사합니다. 네.
It says like very shortly before or even during.
아,
Yeah. The daily doses is 30 honey. 아, 바게트. 너무 좋아요.
아무래도 이 여자 챙기려면 좀 식비가 많이 들어갈 것 같습니다.
Yeah, that's not true.
More than 1 kilogram cheese with a little bit of wine.
이야.
So, show you first how it should look like. So.
Beautiful.
It's really good. Back in the days, I didn't like it because alcohol flavor is very strong.
Korean banana.
Yeah.
Eat like this. 우와, 또래요.
I don't can have leftovers.
난 이렇게 먹으면 배탈 날 것 같은데. 진짜 배부르다, 그치? 너무 나 치즈를 많이 먹어가지고 저녁에는 무조건 한식을 먹어야겠어. 한식 하니까 자기는 왜 한국을 5번이나 온 거야? 내가 이걸 정확히 물어본 적이 없네. 원래 한국이란 나라에 대해서 알고 있었어?
Just basics though, where it is, that it's split in two, and about the Korean War.
근데 그럼 어쩌다가 한국이란 나라에 관심을 갖게 된 거야?
K-pop. I just wanted to know more about the country because when you like someone, you want to know how they live. Is it different than my life in Germany? So I wanted to know all of that.
처음에 발견한 K-pop 아티스트가 누군데?
빅뱅.
빅뱅 좋았지. 물론 지금은 사건 사고가 너무 많았지만
It's been a long time ago.
문화의 힘이라는 게 신기해. 이 진짜 엄청난 이 먼 땅 독일에서도 그 당시에 접할 수가 있었다는 게. 그러면 그래서 한국 학과를 간 거야?
That was only like 2014. Basically, in like 2017, I had to make the choice. People always say you should do something in the future that you want to do or you enjoy doing. What do I enjoy? Actually, studying Korean would be really great. I learn more about the culture, about everything, and I can learn the language. After I finished my school, go to Korea myself to see how it really is. Because I learned so much about Korea, but I never experienced it for myself. Very overwhelming. And my Korean was like almost nothing, but I was also so happy. You can always see from like K-pop idol when it's someone's birthday. I saw a lot of K-pop stars I liked, and I just took pictures of all of them. And honestly, European countries are very similar, but Korea was so different in every aspect. So it was very overwhelming. I mean, I have some, but not from that time. Even though I was in Korea, but like all the people I hang out with, they were not Koreans. I only had culture shock when like I made Korean friends. I mean, at that time I was just looking forward to studying Korean studies. Like, it was really great, and I know I want to go back there as soon as I can. I think like just not even like 1 week after my semester finished, I was gone again.
오.
Like 8 weeks were not enough. Good friends and good memories. I think it was 8 weeks in Busan. There was also like language cafe. So basically talking a lot with Koreans. Like every time when I went back to Korea, I just experienced more things. Like how Korean life really is. Like when I lived with my friends, we ordered a lot of food online. You know, like Paetare Minchok. I never did that before, so I was like, wow, I like that. Like 2019 February. For exchange student, like living in Korea actually for like over 1 year, and I made a lot of Korean friends, and I met you.
그럼 당연히 좋았겠네. 세 번째 방문이 가장.
Definitely. 벌써. That's like very new experience. You have to deal with a lot of things. If like Wi-Fi is not working, you have to call someone in like Korean and you're like, 여보세요? Was not easy, but we learned a lot of things. I don't think I can say that. Like 1 year is too long. I made too many good memories. By spending time with you and getting to know you, I also got to know Korea more, like Korean lifestyle.
캐나다에서 1년 조금 넘게 살았었는데 나도 이제 나는 그때 친구도 없었고 거기서 혼자 이제 막 아둥바둥 막 살았지. 살아남으려고. 그때 부모님한테 돈도 안 받고 혼자 영어 배운다고 막 사람이 이제 혼자 살다 보면 자기 자신에 대해서 생각할 시간이 되게 많아지잖아. 가장 길게 살아본 거잖아. 처음으로 한국에서 1년 동안.
I just learned how to be more independent. Realized that there's like a lot of different ways you can live your life. Like I learned that there's so much more than just the life I live. Yeah, 2021.
1년 더 넘게 떨어지더지. 그때 코로나도 터졌잖아. 내가 막 취업한다고 바빴을 때고.
Was the worst.
그때 우리 진짜 힘들었다 그치? 그때 카리나가 한국에 어떻게 왔더라?
I got internship. Couldn't go to Korea with tourist visa. But I had to go to Korea. I wanted to see you.
갑자기 또 고마워지는구만. 그때 내가 회사를 다니고 있었잖아 내가. 그래서 막 카리나랑 둘 다 퇴근하고 만나가지고 집 같이 오고 막 그랬던 기억이 있네. 나는 역삼.
And I was in Seongsu. It was great. But I mean, you have to say that there was also like very international. So everyone spoke in English with me. And there was like no hierarchy or anything. But I think it was like great to get to know more about Korean working culture while not being too much at the time. I didn't have a Korean mindset. I ordered things on Amazon, even though it took longer. I didn't even know that Coupang exists, honey. I always got my water from from convenience store. Yeah, I couldn't even pay with KakaoTalk. I got to know all of these things. Like it's just so convenient. And I only got to know that because of you. So I saw, oh, so this is how Koreans live. It's not like I can say it every time I go to Korea, wow, I become like totally different person. Very, very spread out. But then at that time it was really hard to go back to Germany because I just really didn't want to. Also then I really didn't know when I could come back.
결국 카리나는 독일로 들어갔고 마지막 5번째 방문을 하게 되잖아.
This working holiday year was the one. Then we moved to your mom's place. And even just living with Korean family, getting to know all of your family members and like in Gwangju as well. That was like such a different experience, right? I feel like that's when I really got to know Korean culture and like Korean people. And I think then again, when I went to Seoul by myself, because basically I was living by myself for the first time. I had to like talk with the landlord, obviously in Korean, also with like doing part-time job. I really felt like I was like directly in Korean culture. This year I really felt like, okay, I cannot become any more Korean as a foreigner.
그렇게 국밥을 좋아하게 되고
Oh yeah, 순대. Whew.
그렇게 짜장면에 미치게 되고
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's all because of you, Sue. You just showed me too many good things. I'm already excited to go back to Korea again.
카리나가 한국에 처음 갔던 2017년 8월 그때 한국 가기 직전에 카리나와 지금 한국에 5번 이상 갔다 온 카리나.
A lot of things. I don't think I would be the person that I am right now if I wouldn't have gone to Korea. I became way more independent. I feel like I can do everything. So I feel like I got a lot of confidence. Just there's something about Korea every time I want to go back. There was never a time where I go back to Germany and I think, nah, I don't need to go back there. I always think, okay, when is the next time I can go? And also when you think about it, without Korea, without even having that interest in Korea, I would never met you. I really think my life would be very different if I wouldn't have met you. So basically we can say doing YouTube is all thanks to Korea. Like me discovering that I actually really like Korea and I want to get to know more about Korea. There's so many things I wouldn't be, like me in the first place, interested about Korea. No YouTube, no Suho, no fashion sense, no Korean food. I wouldn't even know what tteokbokki is probably. Like tteokbokki, 간짜장.
내가 괴물을 하나 만들어 버렸어.
Maybe just little 괴물. Even just thinking about that, I'm very, very thankful that I got to experience a lot of things and I got to meet amazing people like you. Like even just learning and speaking a new language broaden your mindset. You feel like a new person a little bit. Maybe like very, very shy, very quiet countryside girl. Maybe you would already have another girlfriend. Maybe you already got married. Who knows?
참 인생은 선택의 연속이라 하잖아. 나도 인생 살면서 여러 가지 선택을 했지만 카리나를 만난 걸 선택한 건 참 잘한 일인 것 같아. 그리고 내가 나중에 이 독일에 있는 시간을 돌아봤을 때 어떤 선택으로 내 인생의 기억에 남을지 궁금해. 그리고 내 선택에 후회가 없도록. 그리고 난 항상 그래. 어쨌든 내가 내 선택을 했으면 그 선택이 맞았다는 걸 증명하는 건 이 오롯이 나의 몫이기 때문에 내가 증명해야 되는 거죠. 어쨌든 소리 길어네 갑자기.
찹쌀?
아 찹쌀이야. 찹쌀이 아니고 잡설. 그러니까 그냥
What's that?
그냥 something unimportant like conversation.
오케이. 빨리 와.
아이고 진정하세요.
진짜 왔어요. 끝이야? Thank you for listening to my story.
아 근데 나도 카리나를 앉혀놓고 이렇게 카리나의 인생 스토리를 들어본 게 처음이라서 되게 신기하고 좋았어.
오늘 영상은 여기까지 하겠습니다. 오늘도 카리나의 삶 속에 와주셔서 어려워 진짜. 오늘도 카리나의 삶 속에 와주셔서 감사합니다.
오케이, 카리나는 한국어 공부, 나는 독일어 공부 열심히 합시다.
알겠습니다.